XXXTentacion is alive. First and foremost, I am Verge the Astrologer, and this is the Akashic Review, where we review all that is true under the sun. Something to keep in mind is that an idea is truth. Things that might not necessarily manifest in the physical is still truth. The Akashic Record is essentially the quantum soup. All of the possibilities that exist that can manifest. So something doesn't necessarily need to manifest for it to become truth. So keep that in mind. With that being said, let's talk about my boy XXXTentacion. We all know he was supposedly shot last week, the day that Neptune went in retrograde. We'll get to that later. But man, I need to address a few things here. First and foremost, if you did not listen to X's music, if you did not follow his message, don't comment on him. Don't make a distinction about someone based off of one person's testimony. Yes, he did have allegations against him that were heinous, rape charges, etc. But this was one person's testimony. How many white women do we see in this world bring down black men and bring false allegations and accusations and things of that nature? So I am not ready to say that he even did any of that. That could have been a controlling mechanism by the elite to keep him on a leash. Who knows? But with that being said, it's absolutely ridiculous for some of you to judge somebody based off of something that you do not know anything about. We know that people have gone to prison for life sentences on crimes that they did not commit. With that being said, if you consider yourself a spiritual person, you need to know about the laws of the universe. And this is why X was dope. X went on record many times saying, I study the laws of the universe. He even said that he was born with a knowing of the laws of the universe. He constantly was talking about mentalism, duality, the 7 Hermetic principles. This man was woke as fuck. Pardon my French, but this man was spitting wisdom at every turn. Wisdom that no other celebrity is spitting right now. Other than Kanye sometimes, but Kanye doesn't articulate things very well. This man X, first of all, X is an Aquarius. Aquariuses are the ascended masters of the zodiac. And this man was just that. Let me tell you, boy. Oh my God, he was that. If you're someone who follows his music and you're a fan, you know that there was something special about this being. He was not a normal being. The energy that he carried in his music, like you put on his music and it touches your soul deeply, very, very, very deeply, more so than other artists. This is why, for all of you haters out there, go look at his following. Look at his loyal ass fans. He has the best fan base of any musician right now. Seriously, he has people that ride or die for him, that love him like family. Like this, him dying, this wounded me to the core until I really developed my understanding of what actually is going on here. But if he's one of those people, man, you either can't see past the crimes that he had, so you dismiss his message, and you're not worthy of the message. You are not worthy. You are not making the shift. You are not shifting into the next dimension, the next frequency, the next energetic, level that we're all kind of switching into right now. With all of these crazy transits, especially, we are becoming more spiritual beings. We're leveling up. And some of you consider yourself spiritual people, but you're missing the shift because you're allowing your perception, your feelings to create your perception. You're not being objective in your perception. A lot of you have Mercury in Pisces, Mercury in a water sign, and that's really what it is. You can't see past, oh, he hurt a woman and I'm a woman, so I'd fuck him. He's awful. That's so stupid. First of all, you're not a woman. I'm not a man. We are all infinite beings. Stop seeing yourself as your flesh and your body. One of my favorite XXXTentacion quotes was, "Do not let your body define your soul. Let your soul define your body." Stop thinking as, oh, I'm a feminist, I'm a girl, I'm a man, I'm gay, I'm this, I'm that, I'm queer, I'm this, I'm a Democrat. You're none of those things. You're temporarily some of those things, but that's not really who you are. When you study the laws of the universe, especially, you learn that there is no such thing as good or bad. That's a construct. That's a polarity created by this matrix to perpetuate the matrix. Polarity, having that good and bad, God and Lucifer complex, to where you're always like, oh, this is either good or bad. You're constantly choosing sides. If you look out in the media today, everything is about choosing sides. That's what the universe is doing to us right now. And the people that choose the wrong sides will be left behind. Not like we're physically going to disappear, but you guys aren't going to get the gifts. You guys aren't going to get the downloads because you're too caught up in these dated paradigms and perceptions. First of all, when you look at astrology, we know that some of these awful things that people do sometimes, they were meant to do them. They were lessons. So if he did rape that girl, that could have been part of her karma. He could have been bringing her the karma that she signed up for. Is that to say that rape is acceptable and should be condoned? Hell fucking no. It's still disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. But for you guys to condemn someone and not let them have redemption, first of all, X's chart. Let's talk about his chart. He has a Sagittarius moon conjunct Pluto. Pluto, guys, come on. Of course he was volatile and he was a mess and he was angry. Anyone would be with that placement, y'all. Come on, man. Look at the upbringing that he went through. Everyone deserves a chance to alchemize their situation and become better. I don't give a fuck what kind of mistakes you make in your life. And this is what you guys need to understand. Someone can be a terrorist and kill thousands of people and turn themselves around. Every single person in existence has the capacity for quote-unquote good and quote-unquote evil. You can be an awful rapist and come across the laws of the universe and decide to enlighten yourself and become a better being. There's no such thing as good and bad. There is light and dark, yes. And, good and bad are manifestations of those things. But the way that we perceive them is silly. When someone dies, that's quote-unquote bad, but the aftermath of them dying can create more good in the universe than would have happened if they had stayed alive. So, let's talk about the rape thing. Let's say if the rape thing actually happened. If he didn't rape that girl, though, maybe he would have stayed volatile because he didn't have this hard lesson that came and alchemized who he was. And oh my God, did he change. This is what you guys don't realize because you're so quick to dismiss people because you're judgmental. Meanwhile, all of us are quote-unquote sinners. In the Bible, Jesus said, Jesus was faced with a very difficult predicament. Someone essentially committed an awful crime, and Jesus was in front of the people that he preached love to and the Jewish people with the Old Covenant. And the Old Covenant was the crime for the punishment for the crime that was committed was death by stoning. So Jesus had a tough dilemma here because he had all these people that he was preaching peace and love and acceptance to. But then he had all these other people who controlled the system and the structure that he had to abide by. So stone this dude to death and, be a hypocrite to what you're telling these people in terms of peace and love, or promote peace and love and let this guy go and then have to deal with all these people. So instead of making a choice, what he did was he said, he without sin cast the first stone. Nobody is without sin. Even though sin also is a construct. What the fuck is sin? Sin is bullshit. Bad, there's no such thing as good or bad. It's a construct. It's a matter of perception. It depends on your astrological energy whether you're going to interpret something as good or bad. It's a matter of perception and vantage point. Some of us are able to think very objectively. I have Mercury in Aquarius, and I feel like that allows me to really separate myself from, what I'm judging and what I'm making distinctions over. Some of you have Mercury in water signs, a little bit more difficult, but, whatever. Yeah. But back to X, man. He had so much power in his words. Everything about him was just, he wasn't a normal person. X was a prophet. X was a prophet. Some of you guys are religious and you read all of these Bibles and you have Archangel Michael candles and you worship all these saints and you don't realize when we have them right in front of us. And then you want to condemn him for a crime. Meanwhile, some of you have like Archangel Michael candles. It's like, do you realize that the angels fell and like raped all of these women, and not only that, but the God that they served killed more people than anyone else in the Bible? He was quote unquote evil as fuck. Jehovah, aka Enlil, more so the quote unquote bad guy in the Bible, whereas Lucifer, Enki, Jupiter was trying to bring us, enlightenment through science. But yeah, this dude was an angel. He was a higher being. He was an ascended master, period. He had to go through that very difficult lesson to handle his karma. He had some karma to deal with. So he came into this life, had a really shitty situation, went through a lot of negativity, had a lot of volatility, expressed that, but then he learned his lesson. Every week he had a new charity that he was going to. He was calling out other celebrities to do charity work. Every single time he got on camera, he was promoting peace and love and harmony and positivity. More than anyone else in the game is doing right now. Especially a rapper that has such a young following. This man was our prophet. For the young generation, especially those of you that have Pluto and Sagittarius, those of y'all with all the tattoos that are just mad loose, a little bit wild. This man came here to teach y'all how to channel that into something positive. He came to introduce you guys to the laws of the universe. I'm trying to do that, but I don't have that platform. I don't have 13 million followers. This dude was doing it on such a massive scale, and he's only been around for two years in the mainstream, really more so 1 year in the mainstream, and already has amassed this huge cult following. So, a special being. That sounds really wild, but go watch some of his videos where he's being interviewed. Go look at some of his videos and just feel his energy. It's his energy. You can even listen to his music, yo. This whole death thing makes his music make more sense now. His music is so ethereal and otherworldly. His voice is just like magic. It's like sorcery that comes out of him. I've never in my life come across an other being that just had so much. This was a god among men. Seriously. Not to say that we need to worship him. Fuck that. That's bullshit. I'm saying that this man was more. He came here to shift the collective, and he did just fucking that. And he's still doing it. Now, let's talk about this whole death thing. First of all, none of the stories add up. He's wearing 2 different pairs of pants in the different videos of him dead in the car. You can't see any of his face tattoos. The witness stories don't corroborate with the police stories. One person saying all of them had red masks. The police are saying there was 1 red mask, 1 black mask. Another witness said they all had bandanas. One witness said that he got shot outside. He got out of the car, was shot outside of the car, but then died instantly. So then why was he sitting in the car in all of those videos then? None of these things are adding up. Now, when you factor in the fact that he was constantly talking about death, there's the one clip of him saying, if I were to ever die or be a sacrifice, he literally said that last December. He knew. Not to mention, let's talk about this video that just came out today. The video for sad exclamation. The video is him walking up to himself in a casket. There's two X's. One of him is dead in a casket and then springs up to life and grabs him by, like, comes at him. And then they're fighting at the funeral. His own funeral. This was released a week after he died, and this video is him at a funeral fighting his dead self that comes back to life. Come on! Come on. Mind you, in the cuts of this video, X is sitting in a chair with this Grim Reaper over him like this, with these demonic voices in the background, which is, that's the voice in his head. Guys, Pluto conjunct Moon. He had that constant boom, 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 wheels turning, going, going, going. I have Pluto conjunct my ascendant. So, like, it's not in my head, but it's there. Those heavy vibes. He's just got that. That's why he spoke to my soul so much, because I speak Pluto. Like, that's my language. Those dark death vibes. Not even death. I don't want to say death. Well, death, yes. I'm a Scorpio rising, girl. Like, death and rebirth. That's what we do. But, yeah. And then in this video, it's just like the Grim Reaper saying, I'll let you, like, go back to life. But only if we're going to have a deal now. You're going to spread joy and love and positivity all over the world. And you're going to shift the energy that everyone is digesting. So again, this man is speaking positivity. He's teaching us about energy and thought and how that works and manifests into the material. So all just very profound, higher thoughts, higher wisdom from a very, 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 very divine being. Divine being. And this is what you guys need to understand. So many people are like, oh, stop making him a martyr. He's a rapist. You can be divine and have, you know, bad things that have happened in your life. Divinity is light and dark in perfect balance, you guys. He came from absolute darkness. And then he alchemized himself and became an ambassador for light. He created balance. And that's when he became a divine being. He received himself. He wasn't necessarily always all of that. When he cut his eyebrows off and got the tree tattoo right here, and he, you know, he had that that video on Instagram where he's like, you know, look at me. Stop fucking, you know, stop judging people by what they look like. I am energy. Who cares if I look crazy, if I look like a hot ass mess? This is just the vessel that I'm using for this experience. This was a 20-year-old dude that knew all of this shit already. Had the world in his hand and chose to help others with his platform. And yet, we condemned him. We treated him like a murderer, essentially. We didn't give him a second chance. So, you know, with this whole murder thing, I can't tell you one way or the other. I think he has, you know, he was shot, etc. Maybe. But Neptune went retrograde the day that he was killed. And Neptune retrograde is like, I'm going to give you illusions. I'm going to make you have to go on faith to decide if something actually happened or not. Your faith is going to be tested. Your reality, your perception is going to be tested. Things are going to be dreamier and elusive and illusionary. That's Neptune retrograde. So what the hell happens the day it goes retrograde? Well, someone, a very divine being, gets killed, but the story doesn't add up. It's very just, ooh, it's like non-tangible. Very spiritual. The whole thing just has weird vibes. Weird, weird, weird vibes, you guys. That's Neptune retrograde, and that's what this situation is with XXXTentacion. This is not a normal situation. If you guys want some more crazier information, there's a video out about the gematria, Gematria, which is like an ancient mathematical numeric value system for letters. You can use this system to like predict things. The elites use this system. If you believe in the Freemasons, the Illuminati, whatever the hell you want to call them, whatever box you want to put it in, the elites use this system. This is how they do their sacrifices. Tupac, XXXTentacion, Biggie, they all share this thing with their gematria, with their names, to where it was like they were designed to die on those specific dates. Definitely check that out. YouTube, Gematria, XXXTentacion. Yeah, so there's a lot more information that can go into this. I just wanted to come on really quick and talk to you guys about this because I'm so tired of people dismissing him and not having compassion. And that's really what this is about, choosing sides. That's what the universe is showing us right now. Democrat, Republican, Trump, you either love Trump and you're a piece of shit racist, maybe, or you hate Trump. You either hate Kanye or you can see what the fuck he's saying objectively. Slavery was a choice. Slavery was a choice, you guys. Not in the sense that you're taking it as. We, as infinite beings, choose to come into our specific vessels to adhere to the lessons that that vessel will provide. In that, slavery was a choice. We chose to come and have that experience. Think about what that did for us spiritually. To go through that experience, the amount of compassion that was gained. Does that make slavery right? Fuck no. Everyone that was involved in enslaving us, that's y'all karma to deal with. I'm not even going to get into that. But at the end of the day, slavery was a choice. It was a mindset. It was a vibration. We had to vibrate out of that mindset. My ancestors had to realize, whoa, we don't have to do this. There's mad of us. We can rise up. We can create the Underground Railroad. We can start making things happen. Slavery is a choice in that you can decide to fight until you die rather than being a slave. Black people, y'all ate up Killmonger in the Black Panther movie. Y'all ate him up. Meanwhile, he had that quote, oh, I'd rather jump from a ship and die than be in captivity like my ancestors who weren't brave enough to jump from ships. That would have been choosing not slavery. But they feared death, so they stayed on the ships and they went and they dealt with that whole process. Slavery was a mindset, a program that we vibrated out of. To an extent, we are all still slaves and we all choose to be slaves still to this day. We're choosing to pay our taxes. We're choosing to drink fluorinated water. We're choosing to allow our government to run these bullshit elections to where the popular vote doesn't match the bullshit electoral college. We are choosing to remain slaves to a system. Every day we are actively choosing mental slavery. It comes through technology. It comes through the media. Freudian tactics. They program us through the media, through our entertainment. Come on, you guys. You guys look at things on the surface level instead of, this is where you're here as a human being. You need to think up here as a divine being. Get out of your body. Think about why a divine being would choose to come down into a slave's body. Think about why a divine being would choose to come down into a slave master's body. Think about why a divine being would want to become someone like XXXTentacion, who goes through this awful struggle and then comes out on the other side and ends up enlightening masses and masses of people. Get out of your race, get out of your gender, get out of your orientation. Stop thinking as those physical, limited things. You are infinite. You are infinite. You are God. You are the creator. You are the universe. Act like it. You created everything, all things under the sun. Things like rape and murder are manifestations of what you created. Does that mean you need to condone them and accept them? No. But you need to see the place that everything has in the all. You need to see that some people might have to go through those awful things so that they can become more. He leveled up from those awful experiences, and he became a Messiah-like figure. And he was killed like a Messiah-like figure. Biggie, Tupac. They were voices for the people. Much like Jesus was. And they were ostracized for it. The world didn't accept them. So please, take the time out to research some of this man's music. Give him a chance. Stop choosing sides. You don't have to choose sides. You can be in the middle. That's all I gotta say about that. Please give this video a like, a share, and subscribe to my channel.